What's going on, everybody? Jordan Stupar here. You have again made it to another YouTube video. I appreciate and am thrilled that you are here spending a little bit of time with me. What I do is I talk about business, I talk about sales technology, entrepreneurship, and some things that maybe don't exactly fit those subject topics, but have something to do with sales or business, because that's what I'm really passionate about. I'm very passionate about helping people win in business and in sales. And with that being said, thanks for being here. Now, today, I've got an unbelievable topic, something that people talk about all the time. If you've been in sales for longer than 10 minutes, chances are you've had a discussion, an argument, or at least some type of interaction with a colleague, a sales manager, somebody about the morality of cold calling. Is it dead? Is it alive? It's something you should spend your time doing. Is it effective? Does it actually work? Can you make money with it? Or is it all just a big waste of time, and just should you maybe use your social media platforms to message people? Is cold calling dead, or is it alive? Now, before I share with you guys my perspectives and my opinions regarding the mortality of cold calling, what I would like to address is that, in case you don't know, there are two basically different types of people out there. You have a group of people or a camp of people that believe in their hearts and souls that cold calling is, in fact, dead, and that it's in the grave, and it's not something that's effective or something you should do with your time. And I also am aware that there are people out there, or another camp or group of people, that would argue to the death that cold calling is very much still alive. And so, as an inside salesperson with years and years and years of experience and lots of cold calls being made, and also somebody that believes in social selling, I believe that I can give you a pretty good idea and a very accurate answer on whether or not cold calling is dead or alive. Let's get down to it. It's YouTube, baby. Let's go. The first thing that I want to start off with is the validity of the argument from the group that says that cold calling is dead. In fact, there are some statistics, there are some actual analytical and logical and viable arguments for why cold calling is dead. I obviously have studied a lot of statistics, and when new emails come out, or a blog comes out about different statistics or whatever, I pay attention in regards to sales. And in fact, I saw a report go across my desk here recently that the average success rate of a cold call is right around 2%. That means for every 100 phone calls you make, you could expect to have about 2 successful interactions with a customer going in cold. If you are arguing that cold calling is dead and ineffective, this would probably be that that thing that you argue with, saying that it's very unlikely that you're gonna have success. So cold calling might be dead, right? That statistic does make sense. However, on the other side of people that are going to argue that cold calling is very much alive, the people on the other side saying that cold calling is alive are going to suggest to the people that say that cold calling is dead that they're just lazy. Because if you are actually dialing at scale and you're making 100, 200, 300, 400 phone calls in a day, you inadvertently increase the opportunities or the chances of success on a cold call. Makes sense, right? So on one side, you have people that say cold calling is dead, and on the other side, you have the people using this 2% statistic that I just mentioned to basically infer that if you think cold calling is dead, then you're just lazy. Okay, now with all of that being said, you can obviously pick sides. However, I don't really like picking sides because I can see a viable, logical, sound argument for both sides, and it kind of makes my head spin. So this is what I think about cold calling. I don't think cold calling is dead. I don't think it's very much alive. I believe that it's on life support, and that you as a salesperson, particularly if you are tasked with the job of making cold calls, I believe that you should be leveraging and utilizing other tools and resources to bolster your success of the cold call. Let me explain. Another statistic you should be aware of is that it takes, on average, about 8 phone calls, 8 cold calls to get one decision maker on the phone. That would mean that statistically, as a decision maker here in my company, if you wanted to call me, it would take you about 8 phone calls to me to actually get me on the phone. Now from there, of course, you might have to deal with some objections. I might be busy. I might not even be interested. I might just hang up the phone on you. Those are all outcomes that could very well happen. However, the point that I want to try to make by saying that cold calling is on life support is that you don't only just have to call me. In fact, that's probably the worst way to get me on the phone. Of course, that might be the best way to get other people on the phone, but everybody's a little bit unique and everybody is obviously, got their own place where they live. And what I mean by everybody has their own place to live is that, guys, people have a favorite social media profile or, platform that they like to be on. So like literally, I have customers that pay me every single month. They never miss, their credit cards never expire. They might even be ACH'd in for life, guys. These are people that pay me every single month. I can call these customers and they will never take my call. They will never ever pick up the call. I always leave a voicemail. I might furthermore even go ahead and text these customers like, hey, how's it going? Can you want to jump on a call? Can I do some service or some support? And they don't actually text me back. They just don't. It's not like they ignore me. It's just not the form of communication that's most valuable to them. So I don't actually call or text these customers. What I end up doing sometimes, depending on the customer, is sometimes I might have to log into Twitter and fire off a private message in Twitter. Boom, instant response from this customer or this client of mine, because it's just Twitter. It's where they like to communicate with people. Or maybe it's on an Instagram DM. Maybe it's on a Facebook message. Maybe it's on a Facebook wall. You have to be creative. So as you guys are thinking about cold calling, you're thinking about getting in touch with other people, you're not just limited to like an actual phone call or a cold call rather. You can use Instagram DM, you can use Facebook, you can use a LinkedIn in-mail message, you could use a Twitter private message, you could maybe message somebody on Pinterest or double tap their photo on IG. There's a lot of different ways to engage with your prospects. So what I say is that if you're going to bother making a cold call with a 2% chance of having a successful interaction, if you're actually gonna go that route, you might want to consider, in addition to making that phone call that, again, 98% of you guys are going to be leaving a voicemail, why not shoot somebody a text message? Why not find or attempt to find their social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, GitHub, and all of these different social media platforms? Why wouldn't you attempt to find and locate them there and at least shoot them another message? I mean, you also have email. There's literally lots of ways that you guys can reach out to a customer. So why are you limiting yourself just to a cold call or just to an email campaign? Doing one thing like sending an email or just making a phone call or just hitting somebody's DM on Instagram, that is not the right way of doing things, because those are all technically forms of cold calling. And so again, guys, as you're thinking about reaching out to prospects, you need to be aware that there's different places other than a phone call that your customer can actually live. And I would suggest that you actually go out, do a little bit of homework, and try to find those profiles so that you can get in front of people in more places. In fact, one of my favorite techniques when it comes to sales and getting some attention is making a phone call, leaving a voicemail, and telling the customer to go check their email. Then I'll find them on Twitter and go tell them to check their voicemail. Then I'll find them on Instagram to tell them to check their Twitter. And then I'll leave them a YouTube comment to go check their, email or their Instagram DM or their LinkedIn messages. And literally, I will cover somebody up in 7, 8, 9, 10 different places and then consider that one outreach. Because successfully getting in front of somebody may require going to each one of those spots on their social media, going to each location where they can live at. I want to communicate with somebody in the place that they're most likely to communicate with me, not just the phone. You understand? Does this make sense? Now, one thing that I need to address is, yes, it's going to take a couple extra minutes of your time to go find somebody, Google their name, maybe find a couple Twitter profiles, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, right? You go onto Google, you do that thing. That will take you a little bit of extra time, which is a good thing because you're actually putting in a little bit of extra work. You're working a little bit smarter. Now, really one of the problems with doing your homework is that it takes time. If you have kids or if you've ever been to school, you know that doing homework and doing things right can sometimes take time. What I want to also address and do a quick little plug on is if you're interested in not doing the homework and you're interested in saving yourself a little bit of time in finding social media profiles and finding different places that you can communicate with customers, then you may want to consider going to the little description box of this video and hitting the little link to go to dominatesales.com. Super quick plug. We use your pre-existing contact data and we will go out and do the homework, find the social media profiles. You just click on a URL after we populate it, saving you a bit of time doing that homework and of course, you know, being able to interact with people right from Sales Domination System. It's a pretty unique tool, way useful. I use it every single day. My people use it every day and our customers use it every day. So if you were looking to save a couple of minutes of time and you were looking to actually get the details that you want regarding, you know, your prospect, you might want to consider giving us a call. So, is cold calling dead? Is it alive? Well, I don't think that it's dead or alive. I think it can be effective in bulk. I think that it can be a waste of time if you do it by itself. So, of course, I think that cold calling is on life support. You need to be able to use other tools and other resources that are available to you to bolster the success of your cold calling campaigns. And of course, you have to be persistent with people as well. That's an entirely other video. But with all of that being said, guys, I am completely out of time. I've gotta get to running this business. It's Monday morning. It's finally cooling down outside. My beard is growing and it is officially sweater weather. So before you click off this page, of course, guys, I'm always bringing sales content, bringing some business. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully there's some value here. If you thought it was valuable, go ahead, drop me a little subscribe button right there. Hit a like button, drop some comments down below if you think cold calling is dead or alive. I would obviously love to hear your opinions as well. And with that, I'm out of here.